Okay, let's be honest, editing videos can often take a lot longer than what you think. But what if you could speed up that entire process, get rid of all the boring, mundane, technical stuff so that you could just focus on the creative bits without getting bogged down? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you 10 features that make video editing incredibly easy using a piece of software called Descript. Now, each one of these features is designed to help you save time, remove the boring, repetitive work, and let you focus on making better videos. Now, I'm going to demonstrate each feature so you can see exactly how it works. We're going to start with some really simple ones and then work our way up to some truly incredible ones which will completely blow your mind. The last three in particular are really impressive. A big thanks to Descript for sponsoring this video. I'll put a link to where you can sign up and try them for free. Now let's jump straight in with the first feature, which is editing video like a document. Okay, so the first thing to understand about Descript is what makes it completely different to traditional editing software, and that is how you actually edit your footage. Now, when you import your recording, Descript transcribes everything that you say and lines it up word for word with the video. So instead of dragging clips around a timeline, you edit it exactly like you would a Google Doc. So if you want to remove a section where you stumbled, you just highlight the words and delete them, and then that cut happens automatically. Look, let's take a look. So here is my original clip. In this video, I'm going to show you 10 cinematic drone shots that every filmmaker should know. Wait, am I? Is it 8 or 10? I can't remember. Oh no, it is 10. It is 10. I'm going to break each one down so that you can do exactly the same. Now I'm going to remove the bit where I messed up. I'm just going to delete these words, and we now have this. In this video, I'm going to show you 10 cinematic drone shots that every filmmaker should know. I'm going to break each one down so that you can do exactly the same. So as you can see, a perfectly clean cut, super easy, zero faff. So for anyone who has spent hours scrubbing through their footage trying to cut out mistakes, this feature alone is a complete game changer. Okay, number 2 is removing filler words in one click. Now, once Descript has transcribed your footage, you can now do something incredibly useful with it. If you open up the filler word detection tool, it will scan your entire recording and highlight every single you know, and like all at once. And then with literally one click, it removes them all. So let's take a look. In this video, I'm going to be sharing some 360 filmmaking tips. I'm not only going to show you how to capture your footage, but I'm going to show you exactly how to edit each one to make your videos look much more professional. So let's take a look. We can see here I said a lot of ums and ers, and as you can see, Descript has now deleted them all. Let's take a look. In this video, I'm going to be sharing some 360 filmmaking tips. I'm not only going to show you how to capture your footage, but I'm going to show you exactly how to edit each one to make your videos look much more professional. So a recording that sounded hesitant and unconfident instantly sounds much more polished and professional. Now, I know you now have a talking head shot that sounds great but looks a little choppy, but that's where layering over B-roll comes in to hide those cuts. Now personally, I like to film my own B-roll just to hide those cuts, but if you don't have your own, then Descript has a huge archive of stock images and video that you can use, and this is incredibly useful. You can also generate your own videos using prompts if you're into that kind of thing, so plenty of options for everyone. Okay, this next feature is called Fix Eye Contact. Now, one thing that immediately gives away a beginner is if they're always looking down and reading a script, or even just reading a script slightly off camera. It breaks the connection with the viewer completely, but Descript has a feature that corrects your eye contact in the edit. So even if you filmed yourself reading from a script slightly off camera, it can make it look like you were looking directly into the camera the whole time. Now, quick disclaimer here, okay? This isn't designed to be used throughout your entire video. I mean, you could, but I personally wouldn't recommend it because it can look a little unsettling at times. I mean, I would only ever really try and use this in a pinch. So let's say you have a technical part of your script that you just can't seem to get right. That's where this feature would come in really useful. Now, I'll be honest, it doesn't look perfect on every shot. If you're just talking to the camera for 10 minutes, then this is going to be really obvious. But if you're just using it for a few seconds here and there, then this feature can be a real lifesaver, particularly if you're new to being on camera. Okay, the next feature is studio sound. Now, bad audio is probably the #1 reason people click away from your video, and it's also the thing that beginners stress about most because people assume that you need expensive gear and acoustic panels all over your walls to get good sound, but you really don't. Descript has a feature called Studio Sound that uses AI to clean up your audio in one click. Background noise, room echo, the fridge humming in the background, all of it gets removed, and it enhances your voice so it sounds like it was recorded in a proper studio. So look, let's take a look at this footage. Now this is the original audio. Okay, so I've removed the wireless microphone, which was giving us really clear audio, and we're now using the camera's internal microphone. And I'm sat a good few feet away from it. As well as that, I've pulled my mini fridge closer to the camera, so the sound in this room is pretty terrible. Okay, now let's add studio sound and take another listen. Okay, so I've removed the wireless microphone, which was giving us really clear audio, and we're now using the camera's internal microphone. And I'm sat a good few feet away from it. As well as that, I've pulled my mini fridge closer to the camera, so the sound in this room is pretty terrible. So as you can see or hear, this makes a massive difference, and it means that you can record pretty much anywhere, even in a slightly noisy room, and you still get professional sounding audio. Okay, #5, AI editing suggestions. Now, Descript also has an AI assistant that goes through your recorded script and flags the sections that might need any attention. You know, the repetitive bits, the weak transitions, the moments where the pacing might fall off a little bit. Think of it like having an editor leave you notes on your script, except this takes seconds instead of days of going back and forth. You can accept or reject suggestions individually. It's totally up to you. So instead of spending an hour in self-review, you can get through a first edit pass dramatically faster, and the result is a cleaner, sharper video with much less effort. Okay, #6, auto captions. Now, captions are a crucial part of modern video production, especially if you're creating short-form vertical content for platforms like Instagram or YouTube Shorts. The reason is that a lot of people are watching videos on their phones in situations where they can't always have the sound on. Adding captions helps keep people engaged and makes your content much more accessible even when someone isn't listening. Now, most people don't add captions because creating captions manually is genuinely painful, but inside Descript, your captions are generated automatically from the transcript it already created. So it knows exactly what was said, when it was said, and it can create captions in seconds. Now, I know this feature isn't new, other software does the same, but the beauty of Descript is that everything is under one roof, so you don't need to keep jumping between multiple editors. Now, you can, of course, customize the style, the font, the positioning, anything you like. So what used to take hours now literally takes minutes, and there's simply no excuse not to do it. Now, using my link below, there is a free version to Descript that gives you a taste of what's possible, and then there's the paid version that unlocks the entire toolbox. So if you like what you see, be sure to give it a go. Also, you will be pleased to hear that Descript is available for both Mac and PC. So now let's jump into 3 more features, and this is where things start to get really impressive, and I don't think many people know these even exist. This next one will turn long-form videos into short-form clips. Now, if you're creating long-form content and you want to repurpose that for short-form platforms, which is always a really smart thing to do, then this feature makes it incredibly simple. Descript can identify sections from a long-form video that would work well as short-form vertical clips. It reframes the footage, adds captions, and exports it ready to post. I mean, you've already made the content, you may as well get twice the output from it with just a couple of minutes of extra work. Now, this can be hit and miss depending on the type of content that you create. Sometimes something important will be cropped out of the frame, but when it works incredibly well. And if you're just looking for a quick solution to chopping up your long-form videos, then this is going to save you a lot of time. Now, this next feature caught me completely off guard the first time I saw it because it's something I'd never expected an editing program to do. So let's say, for example, you're explaining a topic like camera settings or YouTube growth, and you want a nice graphic or animation to appear on screen to help explain your point. Now, normally you'd have to jump into Photoshop, Canva, or even After Effects to do those visuals yourself, but inside Descript, you can actually ask the AI assistant to generate them for you. So let me show you here. All I need to do is open the AI assistant and describe what I want. I can even upload a reference image if I want something to match a particular style or brand. Then after a few seconds, Descript creates a set of custom graphics based on your prompt. Now, static images are great, but this is where it gets really clever because we can select one of these graphics and ask Descript to animate it into a short video. And within seconds, I have a completely custom animated graphic ready to drop into my edit. Now, is this going to replace a professional motion designer? Well, probably not. But for YouTube videos where you just need something visual to break up a talking head section to help explain an idea, this is incredibly useful. Plus, it saves you having to learn another piece of software. Okay, moving on. Number 9. Now, this one is incredibly impressive. This is fixing mistakes without re-recording. Now, we've all done this, right? We've finished recording, we've started editing, and then you realize you've said the wrong word. Now, normally that means setting the camera back up, turning all the lights back on, trying to match that previous energy just to record that one sentence. But Descript can actually replace individual words after you've finished filming. So look, let me show you. Here is my original sentence. In this video, I'm going to share 3 travel filmmaking tips, plus show you some exclusive footage and all the behind the scenes from my recent trip to Boston. Yeah, that's definitely not what I was supposed to say. What I was supposed to say was, in this video, I'm going to share 5 travel filmmaking tips. Okay, so look, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to highlight the word 3, and I'm going to change it to 5. I'm going to press regenerate, and we now have this. In this video, I'm going to share 5 travel filmmaking tips, plus show you some exclusive footage. Now, not only has it changed what I said, but it's also adjusted my voice. It's even updated my mouth movements, so it looks like I actually said those new words. Now, again, this isn't something that you want to overuse, but for the odd word here and there, this is an incredible fix. Okay, now I've saved one of my favorite features until last because this isn't just one tool. It's like having an assistant editor sitting beside you. Now, normally after recording, you've got a long list of jobs, things like remove long pauses, clean up the audio, fix eye contact, blur the background, trim bits out, and you end up having to do every single task one by one. Well, instead, Descript lets you tell the AI everything that you want done in a single prompt. So for this example, I'm going to ask it to remove any silences longer than 1 second, improve my audio using studio sound, and blur the background. Then all I have to do is press enter. Now give it a few minutes and it's completed every single task automatically. So instead of spending 20 or 30 minutes working your way through that checklist yourself, you simply tell AI what you want and it gets on with it. And I think this is probably the best way to describe Descript as a whole. It isn't trying to replace your creativity. It's simply taking care of all those repetitive editing jobs that nobody actually enjoys doing, leaving you more time to focus on making better videos. So look, there you have it. Those are my 10 favorite Descript features, the ones that I genuinely think make a huge difference and make video editing feel much easier. If you found this video useful, do let me know by giving it the old thumbs up. I will link Descript in the description below. Be sure to give it a try. But that's it from me. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.